Let's talk about India and Pakistan. Tensions are high as New Delhi struck targets deep inside its neighbour for the first time since 1971. Now all eyes are on Islamabad and how it chooses to respond. The world is calling for de-escalation without understanding much about Kashmir. But there is one country, Iran, that has two things in its arsenal: proximity and diplomacy. Iran shares a border with Pakistan and shares ties with India. But nothing about this is black and white, thus falls in the greyest zones of geopolitics. Why is Iran trying to mediate between India and Pakistan? If tensions rise, whose side will Iran be on? And is Iran being naive to trust Pakistan? I'm Ananya Dutta, and this is Grey Zone. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi is new to politics, not to diplomacy. He's a career diplomat who has managed to work with reformists, moderates, and the hardliners. His experiences have made him the face of nuclear talks between Iran and the US, which until a few months earlier seemed impossible. But quietly, Araghchi was assigned another tough project, that is to mediate between India and Pakistan. Right off the bat, I want to make it clear that India has categorically denied any international mediation. Even though the past shows that every time there was a clash, an international player helped both sides reach a common table. In 1947, that's dubbed as the First Kashmir War, Pakistan-backed tribes invaded then princely state of Jammu and Kashmir, leading to a full-scale war. The war continued for a little over a year. Ultimately, the United Nations mediated a ceasefire, resulting in the division of Kashmir between India and what is now Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Then in 1966, the Soviet Union brokered the Tashkent Declaration. The accord saw then Indian Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri and Pakistani President Muhammad Ayub Khan agree to a mutual withdrawal to pre-war positions. Lastly, in 1999, during the Kargil War, Pakistan-backed rebels and soldiers crossed the line of control, which prompted a war. However, then US President Bill Clinton pressured Pakistan to withdraw from Indian territories. Coming back to Iran, it has been patiently watching all developments since the April 22nd Pahalgam attack. Within 3 days, President Masoud Pezeshkian offered to mediate a ceasefire between New Delhi and Islamabad. It's unlikely it will, but that didn't stop Pezeshkian from dispatching his best man. Foreign Minister Araghchi arrived in Islamabad this Monday to hold day-long talks with Pakistani leadership, including President Asif Ali Zardari, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, and his counterpart Ishaq Dar. So when in Pakistan, he spoke like Pakistan.
My first aim to understand the latest regional situation and India-Pakistan recent tension. We have friendly relations with both countries. However, Pakistan is our neighbor and brother county. I wanted to meet Pakistani friends first to know about their opinion before I visit to India.
He arrived in Delhi today, and like a true diplomat, he's expected to talk more in line with India now. It is the 75th anniversary of the India-Iran Friendship Treaty. And just as the relations between the two countries have changed, so has geopolitics in South Asia. The optics are important, but hardly enough. To begin with, Tehran does not trust Islamabad, and it has plenty of reasons to do so. Iran and Pakistan have exchanged missile fire just last year. The cross-border strikes reached a point where it seemed like the Middle East conflicts were expanding eastwards, entering South Asia. The disagreements go deeper. First is people-to-people relations. Ties between Iran and Pakistan worsened after the 1979 Iranian Revolution, when Shiaism became the central organizing force for Iran's government. And for Sunni-majority Pakistan, this was bad news. Second is trade, which has been positive and negative for both sides. Like in 2023, both countries agreed to a 5-year plan to raise trade volume to $5 billion annually. But the trade route had also opened a path to illegal trade, like narcotics, to flow from Pakistan to Iran. Third, and probably the most major one in present climate, is Balochistan. The Balochis live on both sides of the border. In Pakistan, Baloch nationalism has expressed itself through periods of armed rebellion since the country's creation. They want a separate state, claiming discrimination from Islamabad. Ever since, they've targeted security officials on both sides of the border. The 2023 strike that we spoke about earlier was the worst in recent times. A militant group claimed that they killed the commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in Sistan and Balochistan, along with 2 soldiers. So Iran is positioning itself as a regional and neutral counselor in the latest tensions between India and Pakistan. Abbas Araghchi may be carrying messages between New Delhi and Islamabad, but in reality, his country lacks the depth needed to mediate peace. And for all we know, Araghchi's shuttle diplomacy has nothing to do with the Indo-Pak crisis. Maybe it's a quiet message to the United States that Tehran is capable of talking about peace. Whether anyone listens is a different story. I'm Ananya Dutta. Thanks for watching Grey Zone.